Hi everyone, how are you? My name's Chris Quinlan, and this is a rather sad face chook because I'm doing a remembrance and dedication to Neil Peart, who we lost last week, one of the greats of drumming. And basically, I think everyone's shattered about the fact that he's passed away at only 67 years of age because of what is essentially, there's a medical term for it, but it's essentially a type of brain cancer. And I think the drumming world is in mourning, in shock, everything that can go with that. And the thing is, it's sad. It's just really sad that someone that is so influential has been taken from us so early, really, even though he had already retired officially from Rush, which was his main band, of course, and all that sort of business. But at the same time, I want to try and get out of that and actually just celebrate everything that he's taught us as drummers and all that. I have my notes. I've got some stuff worked out for everybody. There's an outpouring of love for this man in the sense that you just type it in to YouTube and you've got all these drum covers and everything and interviews, and it's one of the drummers. Like last year, I did a tribute to Vale the Ginger Baker, right? But everybody knows that he was a scallywag. And all that sort of stuff. So you could have a little bit of fun with it and all that sort of stuff. This is something else. This is one of the icons of drumming who's just left us. So with this show, I just want you to help me out here because I'm going to have a bit of trouble. And he was so influential. Anyway, I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm going to actually start talking about all the stuff he's given us. What I started out with, I didn't do my usual for a hard-earned thirst, need a big cold boot and all that sort of stuff. But I might get there because it's going to be fun. We've got to have fun with it. What I started off with was that is one of the most iconic intros to an instrumental in rock history. I was telling Magda, hello Magda, how are you? Just last night, I said, YouTube, Rush in Rio, YYZ. Bang. And you've got thousands and thousands of people just jumping up and down. And they're not singing the lyrics, they're singing the guitar solo to the beginning. And as soon as Neil Peart started that on his crotales and all that sort of stuff on his left-hand side, depending on what side his revolving stage was, the roar went up. Everyone knew what it was. It's as iconic as see? It's like that. And then you're off. You know, it's crazy good. I've got my samples on because I'm going to come back to that. So what I'm going to do is actually look at all the notes I've put together for it. Half of this I know, but I just wanted to make sure of everything and all that. So I'm going to talk about Neil Elwood Peart, a Canadian musician and writer, best known as the drummer and primary lyricist of the rock band Rush. I'm going to get into that in a bit because I've been putting up stuff on my Facebook page the last few days, because the thing is, of course, we're going to talk about his drumming, but his lyrics, and he wrote books and all that, brilliant. He was born on the September 12th, 1952. He passed away January 7 last week, 2020. He's got just about every drumming award imaginable. He's inducted into the Hall of Fame way back in 1983. Okay, youngest person ever to get that award. Okay, this is we're talking people like Buddy Rich and John Bonham and everybody else that we love and adore, Gene Krupa and stuff. I mean, Peart's got all the same stuff, and he was the youngest to get it. There you go. He was born in Hamilton, Ontario. Grew up in Port Dalhousie, Ontario. And anyway, basically he just started drumming. He joined Rush in 1974 for their second album, Caress of Steel, after John Rutsey, the original drummer, left. And he always called himself, well, I'm the new boy. So there you go. And there's that. So that's what happened there. And he ended up being, before he joined Rush, he wanted to be a drummer. He went across to England. It didn't work out. He came back home with his tail between his legs, and he worked for his dad, all of that sort of stuff. But he was a voracious reader and all that. And when he joined Rush, the other boys in the band, Alex Lifeson on guitar and Geddy Lee on bass, they weren't that interested in the lyrics. They just wanted to do the music. So they left it to the new guy. Left it to him. And what he did with lyrics, amazing and all that. Now, there's a certain little bit of controversy with their breakthrough album. Let me go through it. There was the Rush's first album with the aforementioned John Rutsey on drums. Then the new guy, Neil Peart, joined for Caress of Steel. And, it's escaped me, but the next album came out. But the breakthrough album was 2112. Help me out here. Type it in. Anyway, so there was that one. Fly By Night, thank you, with the owl on the cover. Oh, anyway, it's live. There you go. But then the breakthrough was 2112, okay? And 2112 was a dystopian almost storyline. And the thing about this, I'll do that. And the big thing was,
we have assumed control.
Okay.
We have assumed control.
That's the ending of it, you see. So what happens is it's about Big Brother taking over, basically. He was influenced early on by the controversial author Ayn Rand. That's how I first came to know about Ayn Rand. And one of her famous books was The Fountainhead. There's a famous film out there with Gary Cooper. The Fountainhead, and it was all about individualism and all that, and it was a great read, don't get me wrong, but it's controversial because some of her stuff has been hijacked by the alt-right, as they say, and that's quite controversial. Later on in his career, Neil Peart actually distanced himself from that, and I actually understood it in the sense that there's that. Sometimes, things get sort of twisted a little bit. But that was one of his first influences. He put it on the album cover and things like that, as thank you to all that sort of